Black people have a rich and fascinating history that is well documented even in the Bible. The Bible delves into the origins of African people, including their illustrious monarchs and queens. In this video, we will explore captivating insights about the ancestors of Black and African communities around the world. Please show your support by liking the video, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and subscribing to our channel. According to the Bible, all present-day populations can trace their lineage back to Noah's three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. This includes Black people and other ethnic groups with darker complexions, whose ancestry can be traced to Ham, one of Noah's sons. Ham, the brother of Shem and Japheth, is often associated with the Semitic people, which includes Arabs, Jews, Syrians, and others. The term Hamites or Hamites originally referred to those descended from Ham, specifically Canaan or Rameh. After the Great Flood, Noah and his three sons were tasked with perpetuating the lineage of Adam and their ancestors, starting with just 8 people: Noah, his wife, their 3 sons, and their respective daughters-in-law. Within this narrative, Ham, Noah's son, plays a significant role as the forebear of African and Black communities. His name is consistently associated with Africa, notably as the progenitor of the ancient Egyptians, as highlighted in the Book of Psalms. Interestingly, historical accounts, including rabbinical traditions, tales of the Jewish people, and various ancient traditions, invariably identify Ham as the forebear of African populations. Moreover, all interpretations of Ham's descendants point to African regions and people, a fact underscored by the name Ham itself, which means burned or dark in Hebrew, Aramaic, and other ancient languages. The Book of Genesis, particularly between verses 6 and 14 in chapter 10, provides additional insights into Ham's lineage, also known as the Hamite people. This text presents Ham's offspring, including Cush, who is the patriarch of several African nations, and Mizraim, the progenitor of the ancient Egyptian. Notably, regions in Africa such as Egypt have historically been referred to as Mizraim by various cultures, including Arabs, Jews, and Syrians, emphasizing their connection to Ham's lineage. Among Ham's other sons, we encounter Put, also known as Phut, and Canaan, who became the forefather of the Canaanites but not African populations. It is important to differentiate between Canaan, who represents a specific region and people, and the broader African heritage stemming from Ham. Cush's descendants encompass various African people, including Havilah, Sabta, Sabtika, Rama, Sheba, and Nimrod, who played a role in the ancient city of Babel, among others. Furthermore, Mizraim, the eldest son of Ham, gave rise to diverse nations and people, prominently including the Egyptians and various North African groups like the Berbers and the dark-skinned Tuaregs. The Curse of Ham is a controversial interpretation of the Bible that has been used to justify racism and discrimination against Black people. There is no evidence to support the claim that Ham was cursed by God, and many scholars believe that this interpretation is a later addition to the text. The Bible is a complex and nuanced text, and it is important to interpret it with care. The story of Ham should not be used to justify racism or discrimination against Black people. Instead, it should be seen as a reminder of the rich and diverse history of African people. Fascinatingly, Semitic people like the Arameans, Arabs, and Israelites commonly refer to Egypt as Mizraim, which underscores the association of Egypt with Ham's lineage across ancient languages. The Psalms in chapter 78, verse 51, recount how God smote all the firstborn in Egypt, the chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Ham, reaffirming the connection between Ham's lineage and the ancient Egyptians. Ham's other son, Put or Phut, is thought to have derived his name from a term that means landmark, an allusion to tribal hunters in Africa. Put is recognized as the ancestor of native Black Libyans in Libya, as well as several other African people. The infamous Curse of Ham, or the Curse of Canaan, is a controversial interpretation of the Bible that has been used to justify racism and discrimination against Black people. It is important to acknowledge that historical misinterpretations have abounded. According to the Book of Genesis, after Noah's inebriation, Ham observed his father's state but did not offer assistance, instead informing his brothers of Noah's condition in a mocking manner. However, interpretations vary, and the focus of this video does not delve deeply into these interpretations. It is worth noting that Noah's curse was specifically directed at Canaan, Ham's offspring who inhabited the Middle East. African people were not subjected to this curse. It was exclusively aimed at Canaan and his descendants. To reiterate, interpreting biblical texts as a curse against African people is a misinterpretation and a substantial error. The curse primarily fell upon Canaan, who represents a specific lineage within the broader context of Ham's descendants. Ham, being the ancestor of African and South Indian people, lived a long life due to his birth before the flood, much like his brother Shem. While precise details about Ham's resting place remain uncertain, theories suggest locations in the Ethiopian region, Nubia, or even Egypt. Some even propose Egypt, a land abundant in ancient mysteries and archaeological discoveries, as a possible site. The Book of Jubilees offers additional insights into Ham's life and the interactions within Noah's family and the three lineages, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. In this ancient Jewish manuscript, Ham's disapproval of his youngest son Canaan's decision to settle in the land of Shem, now known as Israel, is highlighted. Ham and his other sons, Cush and Mizrahi, along with their father, objected to Canaan's actions and urged him to vacate the land, believing that African lands were designated for Ham's descendants. However, Canaan persisted in dwelling in that region, disregarding the wishes of his family members, including Mizrahi and Cush. The Book of Jubilees also mentions that Ham was the pioneer of the first city and province post-flood, naming the city after his beloved wife, Melka-Thalak. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. We invite you to express your support by hitting the like button. Sharing this video will enable others to discover this intriguing history, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content.